saying about touchstones. They don't make the chaos disappear. They make you more steady in the midst of the madness. Just like that ancient stone testing the purity of gold, these moments test and refine your focus, your boundaries, and your presence. Medicine will always demand more. The trick is learning when to pause, reset, and come back to show up as best you can. So when you're overwhelmed, remember this. You don't have to control the day. You just have to control yourself and your rhythm within it.
Welcome to The PA is In, the show created by PAs for PAs, where codependency with your supervising physician is a thing of the past, optimal team practice is the future, and physician associate has taken the place of physician assistant as the professional title of choice. I'm Tracy Bingaman, and I'm obsessed with redefining what success as a PA looks like and what it feels like. Here you'll find the mindset shifts, systems, and processes I use to escape healthcare burnout and integrate my work into my life. Work-life balance is a myth, and an integrated life where you thrive professionally, not a balancing act, is the goal here. My mission is to help you to grow into a unicorn PA who loves their job, has abundant energy, time to spare, and work-optional financial freedom. The PA is in.
Hey there, friend. Welcome back to The PA is In. I'm your host, Tracy Bingaman, PA, career coach, and your biggest cheerleader when it comes to creating a sustainable, fulfilling, and profitable career in medicine. A few days ago, I saw a question online that prompted me to make this episode specifically. And that question was, what's the hardest part of your day as a PA? Some of the responses poured in, and ultimately the bottom line with so many of them were there just aren't enough hours to get it all done. We know the demands of working in healthcare are relentless. There is always someone somewhere that needs something from you, whether that's a patient or a support staff member who needs a question answered. And it just got me thinking about how you can only control what you can control when working in healthcare. And that sometimes, even when you feel like you're focusing on one thing at a time, the day, the shift, the things that you can't control will spiral out of control. So today we're talking about touchstones, those small intentional habits that help you to stay grounded and in rhythm, even when the day goes sideways. Because whether you're in the OR, the clinic, or the hospital, you will be pulled in a dozen different directions. You'll have patients waiting, messages pinging, someone calling for an urgent order, and maybe hunger and a full bladder because you haven't eaten lunch or gone to the bathroom today. But in all of that chaos, you still have the ability to return to center. And that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, let's go.
Have you ever wondered if your malpractice policy is providing you with enough coverage? Turns out that employers' policies protect their interest and not necessarily yours. CM&F Group offers personal liability protection that adapts to your growing, changing responsibilities, including state compacts and allowing for protection for practicing medicine across state lines. From telemedicine to license and HIPAA defense, if it's something that you need protection for, CM&F has you covered. PA students can even enjoy a completely free student policy from your first day as a student until you become a licensed PAC. In a climate where we are hyper aware of charting, wording, covering ourselves, and constantly worried about practicing defensive medicine, you can't leave your liability coverage up to chance. Enjoy the peace of mind, exceptional customer service, and find the best comprehensive coverage that fits your practice at www.cmfgroup.com/thepaisin or click the link in the show notes.
Let's start here. What is a touchstone? I had to look this up because I didn't know. Historically, a touchstone was the actual black siliceous rock, I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly, used to test the purity of gold. Jewelers would scrape the gold on the stone and study the streak it left to determine how genuine or pure the metal in question was. But when I say touchstone, I mean a literal and I guess also metaphorical test of authenticity. Your touchstones within your day are those repeatable grounding moments that help you test and reset where your attention and presence are, especially on the hard days. They remind you, I'm here, I am capable, I can handle just this next thing and then the next thing. Let's start in the morning because how you start sets the tone for everything that follows. We've all had those mornings that straight out of the gate spiral. You sleep until the last possible minute, you hit snooze, you're rushing, and of course, because you're rushing, the universe knows, and you hit every red light. You arrive just as your first patient is being roomed and already feel behind before the day even begins. You feel flustered and reactive and out of rhythm. And honestly, it takes half of the morning to level out and catch up emotionally and mentally. Now, contrast that with a morning where you wake up just a little bit earlier. You do something small and meaningful to you to fill your tank. Maybe a few minutes of light therapy, journaling, or a quick workout. You make your morning beverage at home and you remember to grab it on your way out the door. You arrive at work. I'm not talking hours early, but not late. You're on time with your coffee or your tea in hand and a few deep breaths under your belt. You can't control the emergencies or urgent needs that will unfold that day, but what you can control is how you set yourself up for success. So that's your first touchstone, morning momentum. It doesn't have to be elaborate, it doesn't have to be 17 steps long, and chances are it's not going to look like anything you've seen on Pinterest or Instagram. It just has to be intentional. Start with something, one thing that makes you feel centered and calm, and away we go. Let's talk about what happens once you're in the flow of patient care. I love, as a part of this discussion, another clinician said in response to that challenge of too much work and not enough time, she said, sometimes you have to put off everything without a deadline and reset the next day when you're refreshed. That's a great reminder that not everything urgent or everything that feels urgent or someone tries to get you to think is urgent is important and needs to be done right now. And an important reminder that the lack of planning on someone else's part doesn't constitute an emergency on my part. Yes, we want to get to med refills. And yes, we want to make sure that our patients are cared for. But them saying they need it in 2 minutes is not a reasonable turnaround for a request for a prescription to be refilled. Here are a few touchstones that have helped me over the years to find a rhythm during my day of patient care. Hand washing. This is a relatively new one for me, guys. I've always been washing my hands, but now on purpose, every time I wash my hands in between patients, I take a couple slow breaths. It's just a couple seconds of mindfulness and it helps to keep me centered. Honestly, that's not even true. It helps me to recenter myself throughout the day. Truly, I think there's something about washing your hands with soap and water. It doesn't work with hand sanitizer. For me, it might work with hand sanitizer for you, but whether I'm at the nurse's station sink or the sink inside the exam room, there's something cleansing. You see what I did there? About warm water, the soap, the moment of the reset of hand washing that is just helps me to recenter. And it also, when you get the water just the right temperature, feels great. That's sort of an aside. The next touchstone is the door knocking pause. Before I walk into a patient's room, I take a moment to literally recenter myself. One breath, one smile, one reset, knock and walk into the room. I focus on that patient in front of me and how I want to show up in that interaction. It doesn't matter what kind of day I'm having, it's really not about me. It's about the patient, our relationship, their trust, their pain, the problem that brought them in, their health and healing. The next one is the rhythm of charting. This will look different at different phases of your career and in different settings and specialties, but having a rhythm of charting is non-negotiable. In case you've wandered away and you've stopped listening, this one is important for everyone everywhere. Having a rhythm of charting is non-negotiable. Whether this is you finishing the note before moving on to the next patient in clinic or seeing all your patients in a specific wing of the hospital and then sitting down to do those notes You need a system. I know that it's not always possible to have a perfect system, but having a system for charting where you try to adhere to it, even on the busiest, craziest days, is a huge, important way to reduce end of day stress. Try creating a system. You do not want symptoms here, you want a system, a note template that you love, smart phrases that make sense for you, a dedicated time block mid-morning or mid-afternoon for catching up on charting, whatever it is you need to do to have a rhythm and a system for charting. It is so important. In case of emergency, have you ever seen one of those things that's like, in case of emergency, break glass for the fire extinguisher or whatever it is? In case of emergency, do the assessment and plan of the note and any pertinent orders. Then don't sign the note until you circle back and complete the subjective and objective sections of the note in complete detail. Sign it and move on to the next. Batch your messages. Check your in-basket and email at designated times instead of constantly being in this reactive mode. This is hard in clinical work because you want to take those little pockets of time and be as productive as you can, but it helps you protect focus on seeing patients and doesn't pull you away from that. When you pop into your in basket while you should be charting, or you open your email inbox in the elevator, it pulls your mind from the workflow that you're in and the work in front of you to that nagging question in your inbox. Years ago, I made a rule that if I wasn't prepared to handle the in basket message or address the email in that moment, I wouldn't peek. Try it. It means that there are more messages waiting for you at those designated times when you check your inbox or in basket, but it also means that you are in the right headspace to answer that question when you open it. And one more touchstone here, boundaries with coworkers. Who here has a person they work with who they love to work with, but also hate to work with because they're so much fun, but also because they distract you from the things that you should be doing? And when someone comes to you to vent and you're in the middle of clinic, it's okay to say, I really want to hear about that. I really want to connect with you and see you and catch up. Can we circle back after I finish these next two patients? You're not being rude. You're protecting your focus. And even though it's tempting to catch up with that person and listen to them vent and commiserate, staying on task and getting your notes done is going to feel so much better at the end of the day. Speaking of the end of the day, in my experience, afternoons are when the wheels tend to wobble. It's after lunch, if you got a lunch. Tasks are stacking up. Fatigue sets in, maybe your caffeine wears off, patients are running late. You're staring down a pile of unsigned notes that runneth over from the morning madness. Now, this is where touchstones become extra important. Here are a few things that work for me to both boost my energy and refocus after midday. Taking 2 laps around the office in between patients. My medical assistant used to make fun of these laps and give me the side eye when she saw me walking around the corner by her desk again and again before sitting down to chart. But then she started joining me. We've both gotten more steps in our office days, and it gives us a moment to touch base, to see how the other one is doing, to see if there's anything that either of us need from the other person, and even to check in on her wedding planning and my kiddo's weekend baseball tournament results. He won, by the way. The next touchstone for refocusing or getting your energy up in the afternoon is a 30-second dance party in the hallway or the bathroom. Maybe you just take a little bit of a stretch break. Seriously, have you ever felt worse or less energy after moving your body intentionally and joyfully? Dance. Do high knees. Do that tapioca grapevine fancy step thing from middle school gym class on your way to a patient's exam room. Try it. It will make you smile. It will boost your energy. Stretching or rolling out your shoulders to reset. Have you ever done one of those meditations that's a body scan and it asks you to relax your jaw and drop your shoulders, only to realize that your jaw was actually tight and your shoulders were actually kissing your earlobes and you didn't even notice? Figure out where in your body you hold your tension and practice intentionally releasing it. Our bodies speak body language. So that relaxation and release of that tension will tell your body it's safe and help you to calmly focus on the task at hand. When all else fails, take a deep breath. Or my favorite, try box breathing, where you inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. It's like a nervous system reboot that reminds you that you can handle this and that everything is okay. Sometimes, and this one is a little bit goofy, but again, give it a try, I will smile at myself in the mirror after using the bathroom. This sounds so silly, but you're standing there, you're washing your hands anyway. Look yourself in the eye and smile. It's this instant energy shift. It's refocusing. It's a little bit of a moment and an opportunity to touch base with yourself. How am I doing? Right? Give yourself a little look, see what you need, and take off. These micro moments don't add any time, and they don't make it so you have any less to do in your day as a clinician, but they do return and recenter your focus. They remind your brain, we're okay. We can do this. Then comes the transition, that time between work and home. The touchstones here are about shifting energy. You've been in patient care mode all day, putting out fires, taking care of others, and largely forsaking yourself. And now you need to switch into human being mode. A few things that help me in this evening commute as we make our way home is to make sure that I wrap up my chart before moving on to the next patient so I can leave on time. Even on the best of days with the most perfect charting system, there will be a touch of admin work to be done at the end of the day. Focus your way through those tasks, sign those notes, and power down. When you log off the computer for the last time and you start to gather up all of your belongings and your lunchbox and your bag and your now empty or cold cup of coffee, take a deep breath. Pat yourself on the back. Remind yourself that you did good, even on the messy days, as you take another opportunity to exhale. Now you're in the car, you're driving home, playing a favorite playlist or a podcast during the commute, something that signals to your brain, work is done. You made it through the day. I personally listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of audiobooks, whether it's fun and fiction or serious personal development. I find I am often listening to something on the way to work, and then it will start playing when I get in the car on the way home. My drive home from work is better if I listen to music, or when it's really hectic or a really heavy day, sit in silence. Refocus your mind on the remainder of the day. What do you get to do? What do you have to do? What's one thing you're looking forward to? Maybe for you, the most effective thing here is driving home in silence or calling a friend who makes you laugh and gets it and can help you decompress. The goal is to create a clear marker between provider you and you as a person. That is what keeps you from carrying some of that stress and the burden of seeing patients home when you should go home and have dinner and be able to relax and enjoy yourself. Evenings are an opportunity to reset the system. Take a moment. Think about one win for the day, something that went right. You caught something important. You were there for a patient when they needed you. Or sometimes your celebration and this big win is simply making it through. Is there anything you can do tonight to help you get ready for tomorrow? It's not just logistics, things like clothes, lunch, or coffee for tomorrow, but it gives you mental margin, choices that you don't have to make in the morning if you make them tonight. Every bit of forethought in the evening is kindness to your future self. If you are an evening journaler, reflect on things like, what helped me stay grounded today? When and where did I lose focus? And what touchstone or habit might help me next time? What went well? What do I want to improve on? That's how you refine your rhythm with a little bit of that self-reflection, one day at a time.
Are you confident you know where your next dollar should go? 403B, 457, HSA, or Roth? There are so many options. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming. A lot of providers aren't sure if their investment mix is optimized, if they're contributing enough to their investment accounts, or if they're paying too much in taxes. Meet Caleb Pepperday, a fee-only financial planner and founder of Advanced Practice Planning, LLC. Caleb helps PAs create a clear plan of action that allows them to fast-track their path to work optional living, all while keeping more of what they earn today. Caleb's process identifies the strategies that make the most sense for each PA situation and provides step-by-step guidance to put them into action. For our listeners, Caleb is offering a free one-on-one consultation where he will provide feedback on the steps you've taken in your own financial situation and if you're on track to achieve your goals. Caleb will also help you to determine if your situation warrants needing to work with a financial planner or if you're on track doing it by yourself. Head to advancedpracticeplanning.com/FI to grab your free consultation time slot. These consultations are capped each week to keep turnaround fast. That's advancedpracticeplanning.com/FI.
Advanced Practice Planning, LLC is a registered investment advisor in Montana and Pennsylvania. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where Advanced Practice Planning, LLC and its representatives are properly registered or exempt from registration. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. This advertisement is for informational purposes only and does not constitute individualized advice or a guarantee that you will achieve a desired result. All topics discussed in this podcast are the opinion of the podcast host and not of Advanced Practice Planning, LLC, or its advisors.
The thing about touchstones, they don't make the chaos disappear. They make you more steady in the midst of the madness. Just like that ancient stone testing the purity of gold, these moments test and refine your focus, your boundaries, and your presence. Medicine will always demand more. The trick is learning when to pause, reset, and come back to show up as best you can. So when you're overwhelmed, remember this. You don't have to control the day. You just have to control yourself and your rhythm within it. So, my friend, what are your touchstones? Maybe it's that deep breath before you knock on the door. Or it could be that first sip of coffee in the morning and bringing your attention to that moment. Maybe it's washing your hands or singing loudly and off tune in your car on the way home. Whatever it is, make it yours. Name it, use it, return to it, do it in a funny, hilarious way in front of your coworkers that gets them to think about doing it also. Try these touchstones out. See if they work for you. Adopt one or two to integrate into your day and see how things improve. And if you're wondering how sustainable your current rhythms or your current position are, take the Clinician Career Sustainability Quiz. You can find it at tracybingaman.com/sustainability. It's quick, it's eye-opening, it'll show you exactly where to focus to build a career and a life that lasts. In just 10 questions, it gives you an objective rating of your degree of sustainability versus your degree of burnout, and it helps you understand where you fall on that continuum. You don't need a miracle day to feel better working in medicine. There is no prescription or recipe for a perfect day of practicing medicine. You just need to find your rhythm. You just need your touchstones. And, my friend, you are gold. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. I'll see you next time. This PA is out.
Congratulations, you've just joined an awesome club. By listening to a full episode of The PA is In, you are officially on the Unicorn PA team. Welcome aboard. What most team members do is they subscribe to the podcast because that allows them to automatically get the latest episode of the show. The life of your dreams exists on the other side of taking action. Keep making small shifts and keep getting better. Your life will improve, your career will soar, and you will have the confidence you need to create your own success. I will see you in the next episode. This PA is out.